Originally I wanted to make the mouse move as logical as possible. I didn't want to have air controls other than the basic gliding, because I thought just managing the gliding would be good enough. Which makes sense, because one of my earlier games is Triachnid, and you're a three-legged spider that you control by dragging every leg manually, so clearly I didn't spend as much time making the games feel good as I spent time thinking about how the mechanics make sense. So similarly, I didn't want it to have the possibility of doing swipe attacks while your feet are not on the ground, because how could you possibly, am I right? So I implemented it that way without thinking about it too much. But now that I'm working on the gameplay more than the basic movement controls, which are mostly done by now, so now I've noticed that the mouse would be delayed in its attacks, because the mouse wouldn't be able to. It would have a random delay every time you attack, because the feet are not on the ground, because the mouse moves by hopping, so the feet are not on the ground half the time. So the controls felt very unresponsive and weird. You would just have a random delay every time you hit attack. So it's funny how my best intentions to make the game logical made them feel weird. I thought that the players would be having to time their jumps, their movements, and their attacks so that they would not have this delay, but even me playing this game after a long time, I'd still not be able to time that and just feel like there's a random delay, so the mechanic was never obvious enough that it would make sense to have it implemented this way. It's important to compromise realism to make the game feel alright and feel better. So now I made it that you can attack any time while you're in your movement animation, your hopping animation. And now it feels much better. No longer would you be incapable of taking a small step to the left and then attack, because now you previously would just finish the step and then attack, and so you'd have a random delay before you attack. It was weird. Nesta already had tried to get me to do a double jump, which I thought was weird, and I didn't want to do it because it didn't make sense to me. Keep in mind that a mouse that glides with its ears made sense to me, so that's fine. So, because of Nesta, I implemented a double jump, and that was a good choice, so I probably need to compromise my high horse more and just make things that feel good. So now hopefully the multiplayer combat will feel great too, because you'll be able to do all things like that. It's funny how such basic things would be wrong, because I thought about them too much and I overthought them, and then I didn't think about the things that made sense. And that's how that goes. Well, subscribe for more epiphanies on gameplay.